Director Michael Licata. It sounds like a Broadway name. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Licata, thank you. That's a first time I've ever heard that.
Really? I was going to ask.
Yeah.
It's either that or like the special at Mama Lucia's, I guess.
Well, it could be that. There's a little fishing city in southern Sicily called Licata. And if you look in the phone book there, it's Licata in Licata is like Smith anywhere in the United States. There's just pages and pages of Licata.
All right. Well, you're not nearly as interesting as I thought. Okay, moving on. But you do have some Broadway experience.
Yeah.
So you're no stranger to that. A professional actor for around about 25 years.
Yeah.
Am I rounding up? Am I rounding down?
You're actually, it's closer to 30. It's somewhere in between, but I'm not going to take the time to try to figure it out right now because my brain doesn't work.
Let's go with 25.
Let's say 25. It's a nice round number.
Yeah. And then pretty much became a full-time director after that point.
That's right. I made the transition probably about, we're in 2015 now. So I made the transition about 16 or 17 years ago.
So what happened? They just run out of roles for dashing men with salt and pepper hair?
No, well, it wasn't salt and pepper back then. This came with the directing in the last 2 or 3 years.
You earned it.
It's interesting. I think I made more money as an actor than I do as a director, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I do directing. My mind works more like a director than an actor. When I first got the opportunity to direct, it was like somebody put a pair of shoes on that really, really fit well.
Wow.
An actor is very inside out. In order to be successful as an actor, they have to really look at everything around them through their eyes. As an actor, that was really, really difficult for me. I was always pulling myself out and looking at the whole picture. And, when I couldn't sleep, well, why don't I do it this way? And it was just really hard for me. That's why I think I felt like I was putting the right pair of shoes on. But that's what I mean. That's where my brain, and consequently, when I work with really good actors and I sense that inside out, that, for lack of a better word, narcissism maybe a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I think that's great.
Now, it seems to me that directors a lot of times are unsung heroes. Like, to reference Wizard of Oz, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. I think they get a lot of attention if the show doesn't do well, but when it's great,
blamed for everything.
They want us, the acting, the set and everything, because it's tough sometimes, I think, when you're seeing a show. I mean, you clearly see, you can see a good actor, you can see a great set design, but when you see a show, what do you feel is the mark in a production of a great director?
Well, it's going to sound like a cliche that everything just comes together and fits. Nothing stands out as being too good, nothing stands out as being too bad. It's all one thing, and you follow the story. And when you walk out of the theater, you've been affected not by, it's great to be affected by an actor's performance. It's great to say that was an absolutely beautiful set. But if there's something that the writers intended the audience to feel when they walked out of the theater, if the audience feels that, then I think the director has done his job.
So you were here with us in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Welcome back. I think you've visited us before.
When I was an actor, I came through a few times on the road. I think it was Heinz Hall. Worked once for Civic Light Opera back in the early 90s, but I've been here, but never an extended time, maybe a week at a time, 2 weeks or something like that.
Are you enjoying your stay?
I love this city. I absolutely love Pittsburgh. I just didn't, I don't know why, I just didn't expect it to be as cosmopolitan as it is. What I really love about it is the importance that arts and culture.
Oh my yes!
I mean, isn't there something called the cultural
district?
Not just that, but there's a whole organization. I think that cultural
trust.
Yeah, I mean that is what a unique idea.
You can trust culture here. You can believe in it.
And I know a lot of actor friends who live here. I mean, they can really make a living, and that's really cool. It's not like that everywhere.
But you are directing Peter Pan for PMT.
Yeah.
Are we flying in this show? Yeah? It's tough to have Peter Pan and not fly, right?
But it's been done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been done successfully, I understand. It just, it's a different concept. But yes, Peter flies.
Does that make you nervous?
No, I've done the show before. I know it. I just did Mary Poppins, and
You were a great Peter Pan,
yes.
I must say.
I was I directed it.
I know.
Although
Let's clarify that for anybody that doesn't get my humor.
Yeah,
You've got a great crew to be working with for this. A
Yeah,
wonderful
great
cast.
And good people, really good people.
You got Tim Hartman,
Yeah.
right? Is he Captain Hook?
He's Captain Hook and Mr. Darling.
Wow. Oh, the sort of dual universe
it's
thing.
done like that a lot. He's tremendous.
And Quinn Shannon is Smee, right?
Yeah.
I just worked with these clowns in Young Frankenstein
Oh, okay.
last
Yeah.
month. So yeah, you got your hands full there, buddy.
Hey, you know what? They make my job really, really
Oh, I'll
easy.
bet.
They're just so much fun. I just love to that's what a director loves. Is okay. This is what I'd like to see. Do it, and they do it, and they're great. They're good people.
So you've been given a show that, if we have not seen on stage, we all certainly know the story.
Definitely.
It's been around for a couple years.
I think. You know what I found out? What I was researching, that actually it was the play came first, and then the novel.
Oh.
Now, you would think it was the other way around, but
Yes.
the play was very successful, and Jan Barry wrote a novel, and then he added on to it. There's like 10 different books, but it's been around since the early 1900s, I think.
I did not know that,
Yeah.
that the play came first. Well, that's a triumph for the theater,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say. But for those of us who are very familiar of it, well, even for you, in being asked to direct a piece that's so familiar, how do you approach that? Do you put a concept on it?
Really, the story is so good and so strong, and this particular piece is so strong that it kind of does itself. And what makes each version different is the creative people that you are working with. Well, it's really, I'm honored to be a part of this, because one thing about Pittsburgh is I feel like it's got this direct pipeline to successful show business people. I mean, just, Gene Kelly born here, and there's, I saw the list this morning, but I know I've worked with Rob Marshall and Kathy and Rob Ashford and great schools, Carnegie, Point Park, this organization.
The Klondike Bar was invented here. I'm just going to
I didn't know that.
add that to your list there.
I didn't know that.
What is it about this story that makes it so timeless and that can transfer into several different, performance media, stage, film, television?
I think it's the aspect of not wanting to grow up, wanting to be a perpetual boy. And there's two. When I work on the show, especially this time, I think there's two arcs we want to follow in the story. There's Peter's arc, who starts out a little boy and ends a little boy because he doesn't want to. And there's Wendy, who starts out a little girl, but somewhere along the line she realizes she's got to grow up. And that's that. In fact, the original story that this was based on was called Peter Pan and Wendy. And
We forget about that.
yeah, and I think Wendy is a very important element in the.
If I were her agent, I'd be speaking up about this.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we have a great company. We are at Pittsburgh Musical Theater right now. You know how I know is they posted on the wall for me.
Right.
Otherwise,
That's
I would completely lose it.
There's another version that comes from London, I think. It's a small version where they don't fly, but they lift the actors
Don't fly?
Well,
Peter Pan doesn't fly?
Well, they fly, but the flying is done by actors
Running like this
Yes.
with their arms in
That's
front
what
of
I've
them?
heard. I've not seen it.
The other thing I always wondered is if his birth name was Hook, and it was just a wonderful coincidence that he ended up with a hook for a hand. You directed Joyce DeWitt in Gypsy.
Yeah.
Now this excites me because you don't know how many times, and I say this without jest, how many times I have said to myself, I wonder what Joyce DeWitt is up to. Now, Joyce DeWitt would make an interesting Peter Pan.
She would. She would. Yeah, she would.
Maybe the next time you're asked to
The
direct,
next
you can be
time,
like,
yeah.
I know who we gotta get. I mean, they'll still fly Kathy Rigby around, so
They
why
still
not?
do. Yes.
This is why we have martinis on the show.
Exactly.
And this is why they're very full.